Pursuant to the Constitution and according to law, I hereby call to order the House of Representatives for the first regular session of the 74th General Assembly of the State of Colorado. After 8 years in this chamber, that felt pretty good. Will all those present in the chamber please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Joint National Guard Color Guard. Please remain standing while the colors are posted.
Colors, halt, about, face. Post. Ready, step. Ready, step.
The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Jacqueline Strand from Bell Middle School of Lakewood, Colorado, the niece of Speaker-elect McCluskey. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members, you may be seated. And guests. I would like to thank Joint Colorado Color Guard from the Army Staff Sergeant Trevor McKinnon, Specialist Andrew Borrego, from the Air Force Staff Sergeant Aaron Quick, Senior Airman Ryan Shanahan, from CAP Second Lieutenant Samuel Harrison and Chief Master Sergeant Jonathan Pratt, who presented the colors this morning. I would also like to thank Jacqueline Strand, who led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And at this time, I would like to introduce and thank the Colorado Children's Chorale under the direction of Emily Crowell, who led us in not only singing the national anthem, but for the other beautiful music we heard this morning. Thank you all. Members, at this time, we actually have some house business to attend to. If there is no objection, Robin Jones will be appointed Chief Clerk for the time being. He's being shy, it's okay. The Secretary of State's office has delivered the certification of the abstract of votes cast in the general election for all candidates for the Colorado State House of Representatives for the 74th General Assembly. If there is no objection, the abstract votes cast for all candidates will not be read at length, as it will be printed in full in the journal. The Secretary of State's office has also delivered the certification of the abstract of votes cast for members of the Colorado State House of Representatives as duly elected by the qualified electors of the state of Colorado. Mr. Schiebel, please read the certification from the Secretary of State of the duly elected representatives.
State of Colorado, Department of State. I, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State of the State of Colorado, certify that I have canvassed the abstract of votes cast submitted in the State of Colorado, and do state that, to the best of my knowledge and belief, the persons listed on the attached list were duly elected to the office of Colorado State House of Representatives by the qualified electors of the State of Colorado in the November 8th, 2022 general election. In testimony whereof, I have set my hand and affixed the Great Seal of the State of Colorado at the City of Denver this 12th day of December, 2022. Signed, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State. District 1, Javier Mabry. District 2, Stephen Woodrow. District 3, Meg Froelich. District 4, Serena Gonzalez Gutierrez. District 5, Alex Valdez. District 6, Elizabeth Epps. District 7, Jennifer Bacon. District 8, Leslie Herod. District 9, Emily Sirota. District 10, Junie Joseph. District 11, Karen McCormick. District 12, Tracy Burnett. District 13, Julie McCluskey. District 14, Rose Puglisi. District 15, Scott Bottoms. District 16, Stephanie Vigil. District 17, Regina English. District 18, Mark Snyder. District 19, Jennifer Parenti. District 20, Don Wilson. District 21, Mary Bradfield. District 22, Kenneth DeGraff. District 23, Monica Duran. District 24, Lindsay Doherty. District 25, Tammy Story. District 26, Megan Lukens. District 27, Brianna Tatone. District 28, Sheila Leader. District 29, Shannon Bird. District 30, Chris DeGraff Kennedy. Chris DeGree Kennedy. District 31, Saeed Sharbini. District 32, Daphna Michelson-Janae. District 33, William Lindstead. District 34, Jenny Wilford. District 35, Adrian Benavidez. District 36, Mark Weissman. District 37, Ruby Dixon. District 38, David Ortiz. District 39, Brandy Bradley. District 40, Nikita Ricks. District 41, Iman Judah. District 42, Mandy Lindsay. District 43, Bob Marshall. District 44, Anthony Hartsook. District 45, Lisa Frizzell. District 46, Tisha Lynn Morrow. District 47, Ty Winter. District 48, Gabe Evans. District 49, Judy Amabile. District 50, Mary Young. District 51, Hugh McKean. District 52, Kathy Kipp. District 53, Andrew Basenecker. District 54, Matt Soper. District 55, Rick Taggart. District 56, Rod Bockenfeld. District 57, Elizabeth Velasco. District 58, Mark Catlin. District 59, Barbara McLaughlin. District 60, Stephanie Luck. District 61, Eliza Hamrick. District 62, Matthew Martinez. District 63, Richard Holtorf. District 64, Ryan Armagast. And District 65, Mike Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Schiebel. The Secretary of State has delivered the certificates of nominations and acceptances of Lorena Garcia and Ron Weinberg to fill the vacancies of Representative Adrian Benavides and Hugh McKean, respectively. Mr. Schiebel, please read the communications from the Secretary of State.
I, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State, certify that the attached is a true and exact copy of the nomination by vacancy committee as filed in this office on January 4th, 2023 by the Democratic 35th House District Vacancy Committee, appointing Lorena Garcia to fill the vacancy in the office of Colorado State House District 53 caused by the resignation of the Honorable Adrian Benavides. In testimony whereof, I have set my hand and affixed the Great Seal of the State of Colorado at the City of Denver the 6th day of January, 2023, signed Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State. I, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State, certify that the attached is a true and exact copy of the acceptance of nomination by vacancy committee as filed in this office on January 4th, 2023 by Lorena Garcia, accepting the appointment of the Democratic 35th House District Vacancy Committee to fill the vacancy in the office of Colorado State House District 53 caused by the resignation of the Honorable Adrian Benavides. In testimony whereof, I have set my hand and affixed the Great Seal of the State of Colorado at the City of Denver the 6th day of January, 2023, signed Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State. I, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State, certify that the attached is a true and exact copy of the nomination by vacancy committee as filed in this office on November 18th, 2022 by the Republican 51st House District Vacancy Committee, appointing Ron Weinberg to fill the vacancy in the office of the Colorado State House District 51 caused by the death of the Honorable Hugh McKean. In testimony whereof, I have set my hand and affixed the Great Seal of the State of Colorado at the City of Denver this 15th day of December, 2022, signed Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State. I, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State, certify that the attached is a true and exact copy of the acceptance of nomination by vacancy committee as filed in this office on November 18th, 2022 by Ron Weinberg, accepting the appointment of the Republican 51st House District Vacancy Committee to fill the vacancy in the office of Colorado State House District 51 caused by the death of the Honorable Hugh McKean. In testimony whereof, I have set my hand and affixed the Great Seal of the State of Colorado at the City of Denver this 15th day of December, 2022, signed Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State.
Representative-elect Burnett has resigned from her seat in House District 12. Her letter will not be read and will be printed in the Journal. Majority Leader Duran. That has a nice ring to it.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that a committee on credentials be appointed.
The question before the House is the appointment of the Committee on Credentials. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion is passed. Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Representatives Duran will be chair. Representative DeGree Kennedy and Lynch will serve as the Committee on Credentials. Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Will the Committee on Credentials please join me in the well?
The House will stand at ease while the Credential Committee meets. Madam Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Committee on Credentials has met and has made its report. I request the report to be read.
Mr. Shebel will read the report from the Credentials Committee.
Report of the Committee on Credentials. The Committee on Credentials has made an examination of the certificate from the Secretary of State and finds that the list of representatives elected at the general election held on November 8, 2022, as certified by the Secretary of State of Colorado, is a true, complete, and authentic list of all representatives elected at said general election for the term provided by law, and said persons do truly possess the constitutional and statutory qualifications are entitled to membership in this body as aforesaid pursuant to law in such case made and provided. The Committee on Credentials has made an examination and finds that the certificate of the Democratic Vacancy Committee for the 35th Representative District, State of Colorado, naming Lorena Garcia as certified by the Secretary of State of Colorado is a true, complete, and authentic certificate. Lorena Garcia is declared to truly possess the constitutional and statutory qualifications and is entitled to membership in this body pursuant to law in such case made and provided. The Committee on Credentials has made an examination and finds that the certificate of the Republican Vacancy Committee for the 51st Representative District, State of Colorado, naming Ron Weinberg as certified by the Secretary of State of Colorado is a true, complete, and authentic certificate. Ron Weinberg is declared to truly possess the constitutional and statutory qualifications and is entitled to membership in this body pursuant to law in such case made and provided. Signed, Majority Leader Duran, Chairman, Speaker Pro Tem Degree Kennedy, and Minority Leader Lynch.
Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the adoption of the report of the Committee on Credentials.
The question is the adoption of the report on Committee of Credentials. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The Credentials Committee report is adopted. Mr. Shebel, please read the second report from the Committee on Credentials.
Colorado House of Representatives. I hereby certify that the following oath of office was administered to me by Acting Speaker Danae Esgar in the Chamber of the House of Representatives on this 9th day of January 2022 for the term of office to begin on January 9th, 2023. I, Tish Amaro, do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of my office to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. In addition, I hereby certify that I understand that the assumption of my office official duties as state representative is contingent upon certification of my election by the Secretary of State, the favorable report of the Committee on Credentials of the House of Representatives, and the satisfaction of all other requirements of the state constitution, the laws of the State of Colorado, and the rules of the House of Representatives. In testimony whereof I have whereunto set my hand, signed Tisha Lynn Morrow. I hereby certify that the oath of office was given by me on this 9th day of January 2023 to Tisha Morrow, whom the Secretary of State certified as duly elected in House District 46. In testimony whereof I hereunto have set my hand. Signed, Danae Esgar, Acting Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that a committee of 3 be appointed to wait upon Chief Justice Boatwright and to request him to administer the oath of office to the representatives elect.
Seeing no objection, Representatives Gonzalez Gutierrez. How long have I served with you? Representative Gonzalez Gutierrez, Chair, Representative Leader, and Representative Soper are appointed to wait upon the Chief Justice. The House will be in recess until we come back. Thank you. The House will come back to order. Chief Sergeant at Arms Judson.
Madam Speaker, members-elect of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Chief Justice Brian D. Boatwright. If you'd all please raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will uphold the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Colorado. And that I will faithfully perform the duties of my office to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Justice Boatwright. The House will again be in recess while the committee escorts the Chief Justice from the chamber. The House will come back to order. Now the moment you all have been waiting for. Mr. Schiebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Amabile, Armagost, Bacon, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Bradley, Catlin, Doherty, DeGraff, Degree Kennedy, Dixon, Duran,
Here.
English, Epps, Evans. Frizzell. Froelich. Garcia. Gonzalez Gutierrez. Hamrick. Hartsook. Herod.
I was going to say it.
Holtorf. Judah. Joseph. Kip. Leader. Lindsay. Linstead. Luck. Lukens. Lynch. Mabry. Marshall. Martinez. Morrow.
Excused?
Rep. Morrow's excused. McCormick. McLaughlin. Michelson Janae. Ortiz. Parenti. Puglisi. Ricks. Sharbini. Sirota. Snyder. Soper. Story. Taggart. Titone. Valdez. Velasco. Vigil. Weinberg. Weissman. Wilford. Wilson. Winter. Woodrow. Young. And Speaker Designate McCluskey.
With 63 present, 1 excused, and 1 vacancy, there is a quorum present. Nominations are now open for Speaker of the House. Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I nominate Representative Julie McCluskey for Speaker of the House of Representatives, convening in the 74th General Assembly.
Minority Leader Lynch.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In respect for this institution and respect for the traditions, I respectfully second the nomination of Speaker McCluskey.
Are there any further nominations? Representative DeGraff.
I would like to nominate Representative Scott Bottoms for Speaker of the House.
Is there a second for that nomination? I'm just going to say, Representative, I'm sorry I don't know your name. Representative Bottoms. Do you have a second for your nomination? Representative Bottoms.
I second the nomination.
Are there any further nominations? Seeing none, Majority Leader Duran.
Madam Speaker, I nominate Representative Julie McCluskey for Speaker of the House.
I'm sorry, Madam Majority Leader, would you please move that the nominations be closed?
Hang on just a second.
Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the nominations be closed and that a unanimous ballot be cast for Representative McCluskey for Speaker of the Colorado House of Representatives for the 74th General Assembly.
Seeing no objection, the nominations are closed. Would anyone like to speak to the nominations? Representative DeGraff.
Greetings, colleagues. I appreciate the opportunity to address you. After earning degrees from USAFA and Columbia University and then flying jets for the Air Force for 30 years, I felt my service to the country was complete. Somewhat unexpectedly, I am beginning this new chapter with you. As we watched the drama of our United States Congress unfold last week, we noted that the House Democrats voted 15 times for Speaker of the House to be elected from the minority party. So what we're doing is perfectly legitimate, just as they did. I'm requesting a recorded vote. This is by no means personal. I have no doubt that the Speaker designated is a magnificent administrator, but the Speaker also provides a vector for the proceedings of this chamber. As you might recall from calculus, a vector has both magnitude and direction, and if the direction is not true, no magnitude will get you to the truth. The great experiment of our republic was the recognition of an individual's sovereignty over government, which eventually ended the ageless institution of slavery in this country and took us from the mud streets of a nascent backwater to the moon and the stars, and created a standard of living where even our poor are the envy of nations who flock to our shores to be part of this great and vibrant adventure. Why then would we return to the monotonous gray, enslaving subordination of the individual to some higher phase of communist society of servitude to the state? Yet every day this Congress drags us down that path. Representative Bottoms is the right vector for the estimable position. Representative Bottoms, currently the full-time pastor at Church at Briargate in Colorado Springs. He is a strong leader who has ministered for 30 years in rural and urban communities to the poor as well as the rich, to the joyful and the despondent, to the addicted and the suicidal. He earned a master's degree in church ministries and a PhD in intercultural ministries, and he has served on multiple executive boards and chaired Sarah's Home for the restoration of girls rescued from human trafficking. Representative Bottoms is a Navy veteran of 8 years and has worked with multiple veterans organizations. He and his wife Linda have been married since 1990. Together they have been blessed with 3 children, 2 daughters-in-law, and 2 grandchildren. The values of our republic are simple but profound. They are unprecedented and they are revolutionary. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. We just swore an oath to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Colorado, thus acknowledging that our just powers as legislators are derived from the consent of the governed, for the purpose of preserving the endowed unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our unjust powers are everything else. We took an oath to secure these rights, not obscure them under voluminous acts of subjugation. So, when I see from watchdog groups like Liberty Scorecard CO.US that a nominee for Speaker of this House has scored an 8% in defending the ideals of limited government, free markets, equal protection of the law, and fiscal responsibility, I must at least present the option of affirming our rights, not further subordination them to a soulless bureaucracy. As a citizen, Representative Bottoms is aware of the damage done to our economy by the frivolous spending of this body and understands that we must remove the jackboot of good intentions from the neck of liberty to enable human thriving. As Marx noted, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. My main reason for nominating Representative Bottoms is Mario. Mario was due on December 8, but on November 2nd, he was shot through his mother's abdomen. The bullet penetrated his arm and severed his umbilical cord, and he choked on his own blood before he could be rescued by emergency C-section. His killer was charged merely with an unlawful termination of a pregnancy, a Class 5 felony, instead of murder, because in 2013, HB 131154 dictated nothing shall be conferred to confer the status of person upon a human embryo, fetus, or unborn child at any stage of development prior to live birth. But it did acknowledge that the unborn child was human. Last year, Fetal Harvesting Bill HB 22-1279 took that further and not only specifically removed any rights of personhood, but even any mention of humanity of the unborn human for the purpose of specifically denying the 5th, 8th, and 14th Amendments, stating a fertilized embryo or fetus does not have independent or derivative rights under the laws of the state, and authorized extermination via any medical procedure, any instrument, any agent, or any drug. And any is a very broad range. The only thing illegal about Mario's death is that his mother didn't want it. This is a very dangerous vector. What we learned from history is that we never learn from history, but if we did, we would recognize that normalizing the stripping of any creator-endowed image of God, of a humanity or personhood leads to subjugation, slavery, and genocide. That is a vector we should avoid, not champion as a growth industry. To paraphrase Abraham Lincoln, I read once in a law book, a slave is a human being who is not legally a person but a thing. And if the safeguards to liberty are broken down, as is now attempted when they have made things of all the unborn babies, how long, think you, before they'll make things of you? I cannot endorse with my vote someone who has made a thing out of another human being, especially for purposes of revoking the endowed right to life, which thereby vacates the rights of all mankind, making us merely subjects of a tyrannical state, and leaves the unborn subject to child unsubject to mechanical dismemberment, chemical burning, exsanguination, or any other contrivance in the dark heart of man. Representative Bottoms recognizes and affirms the inherent value of all humanity and embraces the ideals of our republic. Representative Bottoms values truth because the truth will set you free. Representative Bottoms is the vector we need. As the prophet Moses laid before the people of Israel, today I have given you the choice between life and death, between blessings and cursings. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life so that your descendants, you and your descendants, might live. I strongly urge a yes vote for Representative Bottoms for Speaker of the House. I thank you for your time and consideration. I ask for a recorded vote.
Before we continue, I do want to just make sure that with so many new members here in the House, we generally we do never impugn motives of any member in this House, and we do not talk about specific legislation within the well. Representative Bottoms.
Madam Speaker, I accept this nomination, and I believe very strongly in believing very strongly. I think that people of principle also include integrity with that. I believe that it is important that we stand on our principles and we stand on our values. If the roles of this were reversed and the supermajority was Republican, I would expect a Democrat to nominate a Democrat and vote for a Democrat. The Democrat voters didn't send you here to vote for Republicans. They sent you here to vote for Democrats. My Republican voters sent me here to vote for Republicans. And that's what we're trying to put forward today, is that we stand on principle and we stand on value of Republican values. The Democrat side, I'm sure that there are many that are very principled voters. I respect that. That's very important to me. Also on the Democrat side, I assume that there are some that vote for party purpose or for personal gain. That is suspect to me. On the Republican side,
Bottoms,
I see the same.
Representative Bottoms.
I apologize, Madam Speaker. The Republican principles and values that we are espousing is something that we were sent here to vote for. Our Republican platform is what we were put here to vote for. The 19 Republicans, we're not going to have any power this session, we understand that, but we do have principles, and that's what we're going to be standing upon. And that's why we vote Republican, is because we were sent here to do that and to uphold the Constitution in every vote that we have. The Republican platform that we'll be standing on is that we start with life. That God created life, and He created at conception. He created male and female. He created them at conception. We also know that we stand for the Second Amendment under all circumstances. And we stand for the Second Amendment even if it's in the parking lot of the Capitol building. We stand for the Second Amendment. We stand for lower taxes at all circumstances. We stand for smaller government at all junctures. We stand for rights of the individual over the state, including rights of parents over the state for their own children. I accept this nomination because I'm a constitutional conservative Republican, and I will stand with my 19 Republican caucus members to stand for the unity of the Republican platform, and that there's a potential that this 74th General Assembly that we could end up being the most conservative Republican caucus in recent history, and we will stand together in those conservative values. Thank you. And in a parting thought, because of all the checks and balances and because there's such a huge Democrat supermajority, it would kind of make sense to have a Republican speaker.
I'll remind all guests and new members as well, there's no clapping when we are in the middle of debate. Thank you very much. Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of this body, I strongly second and support the nomination of my good friend and colleague, Madam Speaker-elect designee Julie McCluskey. Julie has, look at me, I'm new. Feels like I'm new again. Representative McCluskey has done so much for this body that it is important that we stand up and stand with her for this nomination. I'll remind you all that this is unprecedented, and it's not forgotten on me or lost on me that someone who has worked so hard to bridge divides, across the aisle is stood up against. We selected as a Democratic majority Representative McCluskey to lead us because she committed to working on both sides of the aisle for the greater good of Colorado. That's what we all should be here for today. Not about Democrats or Republicans, but about leading this state. Must I remind you all that we are facing some of the toughest times, thank you, Representative Michael St. John, the toughest times that Colorado has faced. Coloradans are struggling right now to make ends meet every single day. In Denver, we have seen some of the worst air quality that our city has seen. We have seen migrants coming into this state at unprecedented numbers. We need to rule for the people of Colorado, not our partisan differences. Representative McCluskey has consistently stood up for all of Coloradans. And as a chair of the Black Caucus, she has also made sure that underrepresented Coloradans have a voice at the table. But the thing I think most important for this body, and that we need to reiterate, Representative McCluskey has led the Colorado General Assembly and this state through some of the toughest economic times that we have seen in the history of our state. As someone who led the Joint Budget Committee, and I'm proud to have served with her under her leadership, we have seen a $36 billion balanced budget with an overflow of federal dollars coming in. We need Representative McCluskey as our speaker to navigate those waters. I know that regardless of what happens today, with this little display that we've seen here this morning, that Representative McCluskey will continue to uphold her values in ensuring that she works across the aisle with some of my good friends and colleagues who have done amazing work to ensure everybody here in every district has a voice and is represented. And I hope that we could stand with her today as we elect her the Speaker of this House.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of Representative McCluskey as Speaker. Not because she's a Democrat, not because she's from the majority party, but because we have a tradition in the Colorado House of Representatives, and it's one that for the first time was broken 2 years ago. So I am going to disagree with my colleague from Denver. There was a precedent set 2 years ago, but not a good precedent. Historically, in this institution, the Speaker of the House has been a unanimous vote by all the members because it's a speaker for the entire chamber. And it's really important that if someone like myself from the minority party comes to the Speaker, I want her to know that she's not just representing one party or one caucus, but she's representing the entire chamber, the entire institution of the House of Representatives, and that she holds that above any partisan fray that we throw. But the other reason is that over and over again, I've heard from my constituents across Colorado saying, Matt, I don't want Colorado to be like Washington. I want you guys to rise above the fray, to do better. This is where we can do better than Washington, right here. It's not against one of my colleagues, it's a respect for the institution is why I'm down here asking for a vote for Representative McCluskey as Speaker. I will remind everyone in this chamber, we will have healthy debates. There will be long nights. We will stomp our feet. We will use whatever tools are available to us to make our voices heard when it seems like policies are going against our core values, our beliefs. But this particular point in time is not that point. This is not that time. It's a time for us to come together as colleagues, as peers, as members of the Colorado House of Representatives. So I ask a support for Representative Julie McCluskey once again. I can tell you over the last 4 years we've shared Delta County. I have to put a nice plug for Delta County there. And I think we've done a great job. That's the type of representation that we need more of in Colorado, where we're able to get together and solve problems and also have those conversations. So that's why I really want this particular legislative session to start off on a good foot. Thank you.
Representative DeGraff, do you wish to speak again? Yes, ma'am. Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a pleasure to serve with you. I object to the characterization of this as a stunt. This is not a stunt, and this is not partisan. If this was a purely Republican vote, I would vote the same way based on the principles. I just swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Colorado. My powers as a legislator are derived from the consent of the governed for the purpose of preserving the unalienable and individual rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The founding principles do not grant us these rights, but merely recognize them as entitled by our creation in the image of God. They are a condition for human flourishing instead of floundering. They are the basis for man being sovereign over government instead of being subjugated by it. They are the reason the world flocks to our shores yearning to breathe free. Tyrants of the self-appointed elite hate the individual sovereignty and will try to suppress it under a myriad of laws, rules, gun grabs, taxes, fees, and will conceal their snares under the platitudes of good intentions. Madam Chairman, this is purely a request to modify the vector of this body. It is not an impugnment on Speaker Designate. It is my upholding my constitutional values that I just swore to uphold and protect.
Does anyone else wish to speak on the nominations for the position of Speaker? Representative Luck.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is a pleasure to serve with you one last time.
It's a pleasure to serve with you as well.
I wasn't intending to come down here, but I did write a letter that I was planning to circulate today. It seems an appropriate time to share with the entirety of the body. Today is a special day as we open the 74th Colorado General Assembly. Like many who have come before us, we now have the duty of selecting the next Speaker of the Colorado House. This role is a high honor that carries with it an awesome responsibility, not least because the Speaker represents and governs on behalf of every representative, regardless of party affiliation. In this sense, the Speaker is unique among us. She must rise above partisanship and must be always vigilant to be seen as fair and even-handed. Over the weekend, a local paper ran a story about an incoming representative who was the victim of a crime last week on these Capitol grounds. This representative had come to attend training for new legislators. His truck contained work-related and personal property, including tools, a generator, and 2 unloaded handguns. Between Thursday evening and Friday morning, 1 or more criminals broke into his truck, removed the firearms, and damaged his vehicle. This representative reported the theft to state troopers, and they are investigating. He lawfully possessed his firearms. His vehicle was parked and secured in what ought to be one of the safest locations in Colorado, one diligently patrolled by state troopers. His actions were reasonable, and his expectations for safety of his possessions normal. What is not normal is the level of crime in Denver and throughout our state. It is unhealthy and growing more dangerous as criminals grow more brazen. In response to this, however, instead of pointing out the need to address crime in our capital city and expressing concern for a member of our chamber, a member up for nomination issued a statement to this local paper politicizing the issue and worse, blaming the victim. These remarks were not in keeping with the nonpartisan role of speakership. Thus, I and everyone who is willing to sign on to this letter call on all nominees today to put aside political differences and to reconsider characterizations of the events, these characterizations of the events of last Thursday. Today, the first day of session is about coming together. Today is about electing a speaker who can rise above partisan debates and serve all of the members. In our upcoming legislative session, we, the undersigned, because this is a letter, hope to find constructive ways to work with all our colleagues to protect the lives and rights of everyone in Colorado, first and most especially the innocent. We therefore respectfully expect that in light of the historic and honorable duties of the Speaker, the nominees all consider these comments and join with us, alter their opinion if necessary, to commit to the following. 1, we will not blame victims of crime for the harmful actions of others. We will not punish the innocent. 2, we will advance policies that protect victims and the vulnerable. And 3, we will work to find common ground with all members as we seek to solve the very real problems that are adversely impacting the residents of our great state. I hope that all of us as members can sign on to this, but especially those who have been nominated for Speaker. Thank you.
Any further discussion on nominations for Speaker of the House? Representative Holtorf.
To this esteemed body, we find ourselves in a very difficult time in this country. We find ourselves in a very difficult time in this state. I will tell you, Representative Bottom's motives are noble. I will tell you that he seeks to lead and make change from his position and reference as a pastor and as a newly elected representative. I hearken back to the comments of tradition, and I really now find myself in a conundrum as a Republican in this state. The position of Speaker requires experience. It requires a level of maturity to manage not only their caucus and both sides of the aisle, but the many challenges that confront the state and confront this chamber. And they are many, as we are a state divided and a country divided. And my message has always been, in the last few weeks, a message of unity. We have to, although many of us find ourselves in different advocacy groups, in different causes, we have to find a path forward for all of Colorado, despite our differences. That's going to require leadership. It's going to require experience. So as we move forward, it is my belief that this is probably not the right moment in time for Colorado to have this very complex and difficult debate. And there are, in fact, another 119 days to continue this work. But as the whip in our party, we have something that is precious to all Americans, all citizens, and all, including elected officials, that you are allowed to vote your conscience, your district, and your party. And I said that in an order that I stand behind. This puts us in a very difficult place because we know, as we sit here today before the entire state, that Speaker, soon-to-be Speaker McCluskey, will have the votes for this esteemed and honored position. And she will guide this chamber as a mature and level-headed individual, which, in speaking with her and the majority leader, they have stated. The highest level of respect for the institution and the highest level of decorum, which we are promoting and continue to promote. So at this time, I will tell my esteemed colleagues that we are in a difficult place. And I will hearken back to my previous comments with respect to this. But I will tell you that tradition, leadership, and experience matters. And it's very important that we understand that because you can't walk into the Gold Dome the first day and even begin to think you understand the mechanics and the complexities of Colorado, the chamber, and the workings of this esteemed institution. I'm on my third General Assembly, and I still am unable to put my head around everything that is this body. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on nominations for Speaker of the House? Seeing none, the nominations are closed, and the House will be in a short recess. Will the nominees and the majority and minority leaders please join me at the rostrum? The House will come back to order. Members, please listen. We are going to proceed with a roll call vote. Those members who wish to cast a vote for Representative McCluskey will push your green buttons. Those members wishing to cast a vote for Representative Bottoms, please push your red buttons. Mr. Shebo, please open the machines. Representative Catlin. Representative Frizzell. Representative Titone. Mr. Shebo, please close the machine. With 55 yes votes, it's a different scenario here. The total votes cast for Representative McCluskey is 55. The total votes cast for Representative Bottoms is 8, with 1 excused. The record will reflect that Representative McCluskey has been elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 74th General Assembly. Speaker McCluskey, that has a good ring to it. Please join me at the speaker's rostrum. Before I go, I want to tell you my good wishes go with you as a new speaker. I know it's a big job, and I know you'll have the support of your colleagues and will rise to the challenge. I'd like to just take a quick moment to reflect on the last 8 years of serving this great state of Colorado. 8 years is a very long time for experiences in life, but in the time of government, it is simply just a minute. Don't forget that. Like it or not, as experienced today, we are one big dysfunctional family in this House. In my 8 years, I've seen many births. My own, of my daughter, Speaker Garnett, Representative Degree Kennedy, Representative Williams, Representative Tipper, Representative Roberts, Representative Van Winkle. I've seen marriages. My own, Representative Doherty, Representative Degree Kennedy, Representative Luck, Representative Roberts, Representative Titone. And unfortunately, we've also experienced death. My first year, Representative John Buckner passed. Representative Mike McLaughlin passed. Representative Kimmy Lewis left us. And just recently, Representative Hugh McKean. It's very important to remember that we are humans, and we are all here to make sure that we serve the people, all the people of Colorado. While I'm proud of the accomplishments, I think what I'm most proud of is I've gone from my first year as simply known as Representative Pueblo. If you didn't know, I'm from Pueblo. Made it all the way to the chair of the Joint Budget Committee during the $3.3 billion cuts we had to make due to COVID. I had the honor of serving as majority leader for 2 years. And although it's only been 9 days, I'm going to claim this. I'm actually now the very first openly gay woman to serve as Speaker of the House. We've accomplished a lot in the 8 years, from collective bargaining to the Reproductive Health Equity Act with Rep. Froelich, to the mill levy equalization, prohibiting conversion therapy with Representative Michelson Janae, Jude's Law, and just recently, Marlowe's Law for my family and many, many others in this state with Representative Tipper. But that's not all I'm proud about. We passed bipartisan legislation, very important out-of-network surprise billing with the help of Representative Catlin, we were able to pass. Hospital pricing transparency with Representative Neville, just transition funding with Representative Will. Representative Soper and I actually had a hand in fixing the Gallagher Amendment. That was fun. And multiple education bills. As proud as I am of the accomplishments, I am proud of the lessons learned. I want you all to remember the knowledge you have at your fingertips with the staff in this building. Your drafters, your analysts, your JBC analysts, use them, listen to them, and learn from them. They know so much and are willing to share. Respect each other, and I want to remind folks that majorities do come with a lot of responsibility. We must govern. And I want to remind you all, selfishly as someone who's from Pueblo, one of the reasons I even came to this building is to remind you all that Colorado happens outside of Denver and this building. But most of all, please remember and thank your loved ones every single day for sharing you with the state of Colorado. My wife and my daughter were supposed to be here today, but the little one got sick yesterday. So I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you for sharing me and giving me this opportunity. I love you both very much. Speaker McCluskey, it's been such an honor to serve with you on the Joint Budget Committee as a colleague, and now I'm very excited to sit back and watch exactly what you and this House could accomplish in the next session. Thank you.
Good morning, members. Whew. First and foremost, my thanks to the amazing now Speaker Esgar. We have been on a journey together. She has been a phenomenal speaker for about 2 hours, an exceptional, a committed, dedicated advocate for the people that she serves in Pueblo. And during one of the roughest times for us in this state, brought us through a pandemic as my leader on the Joint Budget Committee with grace, tenacity, focus, and an unwavering commitment to the people that we serve. We are a better Colorado for Speaker Esgar. Please join me in a round of applause. Members, it is time for us to get to business. We have an introduction of resolution. Mr. Schiebel.
House Joint Resolution 1001 by Representative Duran, also Senator Moreno, concerning a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate of the 74th General Assembly for the purpose of canvassing the votes for certain officials at the election held November 8, 2022.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the rules be suspended and House Joint Resolution 1001 be given immediate consideration. This resolution authorizes a joint session of the House and Senate for the purpose of canvassing the votes of the 2022 election of Governor Polis, Secretary Griswold, Attorney General Weiser, and Treasurer Young. I ask for an aye vote.
Members, the question before the House is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of House Joint Resolution 1001. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The motion is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that House Joint Resolution 1001 be adopted.
Seeing no discussion, the question before the House is the adoption of House Joint Resolution 1001. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion is passed. Mr. Schiebel, introduction of resolution.
House Resolution 1001 by Representative Duran concerning the temporary rules of the House of Representatives and changes to the rules of the House of Representatives concerning the remote participation in legislative proceedings.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the rules be suspended and House Resolution 1001 be given immediate consideration. This resolution helps the rules of the House for the 74th General Assembly. They are the same rules that this body operated under for the 73rd General Assembly, with 2 exceptions. This resolution will decouple both House Rules 53 and 54 from the public health emergency. These are the rules that allow the Speaker, in consultation with the majority and minority leader, to promulgate regulations to allow for remote testimony of witnesses in committee and remote participation of members in committee and on the floor. We are currently under a declared public health emergency. However, if that were to be lifted mid-session, we would lose all ability for our members to participate remotely in committee and the floor without this rule change, and this rule change is intended to give the body the authority needed to ensure we can continue these operations as necessary. I ask for an aye vote.
The question before the House is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of House Resolution 1001. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that House Resolution 1001 be adopted.
Seeing no discussion, the question before the House is the adoption of House Resolution 1001. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All of those opposed, no. House Resolution 1001 is adopted. Mr. Schiebel, introduction of resolution.
House Resolution 1002 by Representative Duran concerning changes to the rules of the House of Representatives regarding committees of reference.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the rules be suspended and House Resolution 1002 be given immediate consideration. This will change the names of 2 committees of reference. The name changes will be as follows. Transportation and Local Government will change to Transportation, Housing, and Local Government, and Agriculture, Livestock, and Water will change to Agriculture, Water, and Natural Resources. This will also confirm the dates and times of when the House Committees of Reference meet. I ask for an aye vote.
The question before the House is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of House Resolution 1002. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that House Resolution 1002 be adopted.
Seeing no discussion, the question before the House is the adoption of House Resolution 1002. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. House Resolution 1002 is adopted. Mr. Schiebel, introduction of resolution.
House Joint Resolution 1002 by Representative Duran, also Senator Moreno, concerning changes to the joint rules of the Senate and the House of Representatives regarding oversight responsibilities of committees of reference.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the rules be suspended and House Joint Resolution 1002 be given immediate consideration. This resolution will make changes to House Committee oversight responsibilities for departments. We're adding the Department of Early Childhood under both the House Education Committee as well as the House Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee. We're also specifying that the Behavioral Health Administration falls under the House Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee. I ask for an aye vote.
The question before the House is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of House Joint Resolution 1002. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The motion is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that House Joint Resolution 1002 be adopted.
Seeing no discussion, the question before the House is the adoption of House Joint Resolution 1002. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. House Joint Resolution 1002 is adopted. Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has adopted and transmits herewith Senate Joint Resolution 1.
Thank you, Mr. Schiebel. Introduction of our next resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution 1 by Senator Moreno, also Representative Duran, concerning the adoption of the joint rules as the temporary joint rules of the 74th General Assembly.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the rules be suspended and Senate Joint Resolution 1 be given immediate consideration. This joint resolution adopts the rules of both the House and the Senate, and I ask for an aye vote.
The question before the House is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of Senate Joint Resolution 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The motion is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that Senate Joint Resolution 1 be adopted.
Seeing no discussion, the question before the House is the adoption of Senate Joint Resolution 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Senate Joint Resolution 1 is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that a committee of 3 be appointed to notify the Senate that the House is organized and ready for business.
Yes, we are. Seeing no objection to the motion, Representatives Story as chair, Representatives Sharbini and Bradley will notify the Senate that the House is organized and ready for business. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that a committee of 3 be appointed to notify the governor that the House is organized and ready for business.
Seeing no objection to the motion, Representatives Froelich as chair, Representatives English and Taggart will notify the governor that the House is organized and ready for business. At this time, the committees to notify the Senate and the governor will be excused to proceed to the Senate and to the office of the governor. The House will engage in a brief recess until the House committees return. The House will come back to order. Thank you, members. I am pleased to see Representative Froelich and our committee here. Representative Froelich, did you have a nice chat with our governor? Representative Froelich.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, we had a lovely visit with the governor. He is very excited to begin our session and to work together towards great goals for the state of Colorado, and informs us that we have to wait on any Gandalf quotes until his opening day remarks.
Excellent. Representative English.
Madam Speaker, I would also like to add that we did have a delightful conversation with the governor, and he's excited to work with us just as I am. So let's work, y'all.
Representative Taggart. Great. Thank you, committee. Well done. And members, somehow our colleagues in the Senate got a bit ahead of us and are currently engaged in speeches, while our committee, led by the amazing Representative Story, was unable to connect with them. We acknowledge that we are both ready to be up and running. Excellent. Next order of business is to adopt a resolution for the joint session to hear a message from the Ute Tribal Councils on Wednesday, January 11th. The resolution is printed and in your files, and members, we are very excited as this is the first time the Ute Tribal Council will be addressing us. Introduction of resolution, Mr. Schiebel.
House Joint Resolution 1003 by Representative Duran, also Senator Moreno, concerning a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate for the purpose of hearing a message from the representatives of the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe Tribal Council and the Southern Ute Indian Tribe Tribal Council, and appointing a committee to escort the tribal representatives.
Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the rules be suspended and House Joint Resolution 1003 be given immediate consideration. Thanks to Senate Bill 22-105, we are honored to welcome representatives from the Ute, Mountain Ute, and the Southern Ute Indian tribes to give a joint address to the General Assembly. This resolution formalizes that invitation for those representatives to join us tomorrow for a joint session of the House and Senate. I ask for an aye vote.
The question before the House is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of House Joint Resolution 1003. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The motion is passed. Majority Leader Duran.
Madam Speaker, I move that House Joint Resolution 1003 be adopted.
The question before the House is the adoption of House Joint Resolution 1003. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. House Joint Resolution 1003 is adopted. Pursuant to the resolution, Representatives McLaughlin as chair, Representatives Velasco and Catlin are appointed to the Joint Committee to escort the Ute Tribal Council representatives. Mr. Schiebel, we are now going to read the list of appointments to all of our committees. Members, listen closely for your names. Mr. Schiebel.
Committee on Agriculture, Water, and Natural Resources. Representatives Karen McCormick, Chair, Mark Catlin, Vice Chair, Richard Holtorf, Mandy Lindsay, Stephanie Luck, Megan Lukens, Matthew Martinez, Barbara McLaughlin, Jennifer Parenti, Tammy Story, Brianna Titone, Elizabeth Velasco, and Ty Winter. Committee on Appropriations. Representatives Emily Sirota, Chair, Shannon Bird, Vice Chair, Judy Amabile, Rod Bockenfeld, Andrew Basenecker, Scott Bottoms, Brandy Bradley, Lisa Frizzell, Leslie Herod, Iman Judah, and Elizabeth Velasco. Committee on Business Affairs and Labor. Representatives Judy Amabile, Chair, Nikita Ricks, Vice Chair, Ryan Armagost, Regina English, Lisa Frizzell, Sheila Leader, William Lindstead, Javier Mabry, Tisha Morrow, Rick Taggart, and Ron Weinberg. Committee on Education. Representatives Barbara McLaughlin, Chair, Matthew Martinez, Vice Chair, Jennifer Bacon, Mary Bradfield, Eliza Hamrick, Anthony Hartsook, Megan Lukens, Daphne Michelson-Janae, Rose Puglisi, Don Wilson, and Mary Young. Committee on Energy and Environment. Representatives Kathy Kipp, Chair, Jenny Wilford, Vice Chair, Kenneth DeGraff, Ruby Dixon, Gabe Evans, Meg Froelich, Alex Valdez, Elizabeth Velasco, Stephanie Vigil, Mike Weissman, and Ty Winter. Committee on Finance. Representatives Mark Snyder, Chair, Junie Joseph, Vice Chair, Lindsay Doherty, Chris DeGree Kennedy, Lisa Frizzell, Anthony Hartsook, Kathy Kipp, William Lindstead, Robert Marshall, Ron Weinberg, and Don Wilson. Committee on Health and Insurance. Representatives Lindsay Doherty, Chair, Chris DeGree Kennedy, Vice Chair, Anthony Hartsook, Sheila Leader, Karen McCormick, David Ortiz, Lorena Garcia, Matt Soper, Brianna Titone, Ron Weinberg, and Jenny Wilford. Committee on Judiciary. Representatives Mike Weissman, Chair, Jennifer Bacon, Vice Chair, Ryan Armagost, Lindsay Doherty, Elizabeth Epps, Gabe Evans, Lorena Garcia, Stephanie Luck, Robert Marshall, Saeed Sharbini, Mark Snyder, Matt Soper, and Stephen Woodrow. Committee on Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services. Representatives Daphne Michelson-Janae, Chair, Mark Young, Vice Chair, Judy Amabile, Mary Bradfield, Brandy Bradley, Regina English, Serena Gonzalez-Gutierrez, Eliza Hamrick, Richard Holtorf, Iman Judah, and Tammy Story. Committee on State, Civic, Military, and Veterans Affairs. Representatives Stephen Woodrow, Chair, David Ortiz, Vice Chair, Ryan Armagost, Andrew Basenecker, Scott Bottoms, Kenneth DeGraff, Elizabeth Epps, Nikita Ricks, Saeed Sharbini, and Jenny Wilford. Committee on Transportation, Housing, and Local Government. Representatives Meg Froelich, Chair, William Lindstead, Vice Chair, Andrew Basenecker, Mark Catlin, Ruby Dixon, Mandy Lindsay, Javier Mabry, Tisha Morrow, Jennifer Parenti, Rick Taggart, Stephanie Vigil, Don Wilson, and Ty Winter. Committee on Legal Services. Representatives Ruby Dixon, Javier Mabry, Matt Soper, Mark Weissman, and Don Wilson. Committee on Legislative Audit Committee. Representatives Andrew Basenecker, Gabe Evans, Lisa Frizzell, and Daphne Michelson-Janae. And the Legislative Council Committee. Representatives Ryan Armagost, Judy Amabile, Monica Duran, Anthony Hartsook, Iman Judah, Chris DeGree Kennedy, Megan Lukens, Mike Lynch, and Julie McCluskey.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move the appointments to Legislative Audit Committee be confirmed.
Pursuant to 2-3-101 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, the appointments to the Legislative Audit Committee requires a recorded vote. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 63 ayes, 1 excused, and 1 vacant, the appointments for the Legislative Audit Committee have been confirmed. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move the appointments to the Legislative Council Committee be confirmed.
Pursuant to 2-3-301 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, the appointments to the Legislative Council Committee requires a recorded vote. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Bachenfeld, Garcia. Excellent. Please close the machine. With 63 aye votes, 0 no votes, 1 excused, and 1 vacant, the appointments to the Legislative Council Committee are confirmed. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the appointments to the Committee on Legal Services be confirmed.
Pursuant to 2-3-502 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, the appointments to the Committee on Legal Services requires a recorded vote. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Catlin? Representative Luck and Taggart? Thank you. Please close the machine with 63 aye votes, 0 no votes, 1 excused, and 1 vacant. The appointments to the Committee on Legal Services are confirmed. Members, we are now going to take a few moments to address the body, both myself and Minority Leader Lynch. I'll go first. I did give you the nod there. Thank you, Minority Leader Lynch. Members, good morning and welcome to opening day of the 74th General Assembly. As I take the gavel, I first begin by sharing my deep thanks with Speaker Alec Garnett, who has been an exceptional leader to this body through a global pandemic. He has left his mark in policies that have saved lives, and he has led Colorado through an upheaval and back to a thriving economy. We are forever better due to his leadership. I also want to thank the Colorado Children's Chorale for that heartwarming performance. They have left, unfortunately. I remember the days when my daughter Kate was a member of their ranks. What a positive impact that organization had on her success as a young woman. Music is a powerful universal language. Their commitment to including children from all backgrounds and all socioeconomic backgrounds is critical to helping young people grow into successful adults. I also want to thank my friend Representative Judah for delivering such a meaningful and moving prayer to open our session. The perspective you have brought to this chamber as the first Muslim lawmaker in this House has touched all of us and made a tremendous impact on our state. Thank you. And members, as we begin our journey this year, I want to take a moment and recognize the incredible people who work tirelessly to make the legislative session possible. Our aides and staff, our nonpartisan staff at the Office of Legislative Legal Services, Legislative Council staff, Robin Jones, Matt Becker, Kathy Hahn, and the clerks who manage our bill folders and check and then double check everything we do. Yeah. I'm particularly fond of our custodial staff, who I see here at nights more often than not. Chris, Kim, Bruce, Travis, Francisco, and all the people who work late into the night after we're done here to get this building ready for each and every workday. Please join me in a round of applause. I want to welcome a few special guests and dignitaries who have joined us here today. Treasurer Dave Young, Lieutenant Governor, now Chancellor, Joe Garcia, Speaker Crisanta Duran, Representative Millie Hamner, Morgan Carroll, and Kelly Watkins. Thank you all for being here with us today. And to my family, I would not be here without you. Today, I wear a jacket made of the Black Watch tartan, symbolic of my husband's deep connections to his roots in Scotland. And I wear it as protection, in appreciation for your love and support that surrounds me every day. Jamie, 143. To my children, Ian and Kate, Bug, we know you're sick, feel better. You inspire me every day to be the best person I can be. You make me the proudest mother on earth with your compassionate hearts and eagerness to embrace all that life has to offer. Today I carry my grandmother Irene's handkerchief in great admiration of her independent spirit, a woman whose life and legacy inspire me daily. This small token reminds me of the incredible gifts of love, education, and support I have received from my beloved parents, my siblings, David and Susan, and my sister-in-law, Vicki. I am here today because you loved me for all those years before I could stand here. You were my army, my fierce tribe, and I love you all. Thank you. And darling Jacqueline, thank you for reciting the pledge today. And for all of you, she has crafted a gift that she and I are providing to you today. 64 amazing Colorado coasters. That was a lot of crocheting, and I think her parents were pretty proud to see her finish. Thank you for being such a bright, lovely young woman. Thank you. And finally, to my very dear friends joining me here today from Summit County, thank you, thank you, thank you. My heart is full of gratitude for your gifts of wisdom and encouragement. And friends, finally, there isn't a single person in this building who doesn't miss Hugh McKean right now. Representative Parks, please. Our hearts are with you. How meaningful that you could finish out Hugh's term, be with us here today to celebrate and remember him. Representative Parks has been leading the charge to raise awareness about heart health and early screenings. We look forward to supporting that good work. Hugh embodied everything that it means to be a statesman. He went about his work in this building the right way, and everyone respected him for it. His wit and his joy filled this room, as did that booming voice and laughter. Please join me, Minority Leader Lynch, in a moment of silence and remembrance for our beloved Minority Leader, Hugh McKean. Thank you, members. I also want to acknowledge Representative Stephanie Vigil. No one expects to enter office amidst a tragedy like the one that happened at Club Q in her district just weeks after she was elected. Our hearts go out to all of the victims of this horrific attack against Colorado's LGBTQ community. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember those who lost their lives that night. Raymond Green Vance, Kelly Loving, Daniel Aston, Derek Rump, and Ashley Paw. Thank you, members. To the Colorado Springs community and LGBTQ Coloradans, I want you to know that we stand with you. To Richard Fierro, an American hero, we are so grateful for your quick action to take down the shooter and prevent more lives from being taken. I also want to recognize the first responders who arrived at the scene, stabilized dozens of victims, and saved countless lives. Hateful rhetoric targeting LGBTQ Coloradans, especially trans people, is on the rise in our state, and it cannot be tolerated. Colorado respects freedom and love and the right to be who you are. We have made tremendous progress, and we will not stop now. Members, it is a historic day and time to serve in the People's House. At nearly 40%, we have an exceptionally large class of new lawmakers. I can't wait to see the difference you all will make for this body and for the people of our state. Please stand and be recognized. We also have a few seasoned, experienced lawmakers who may be at the sunset of their time here in the House. Please stand if you are beginning your last term in the state legislature, and let us honor you for your time served. I would be remiss not to ask all of those who have served in our armed forces to be recognized. Can all of our veterans in the room please raise your hand and be recognized? In 1895, Coloradans Clara Cressingham, Carrie Clyde Hawley, and Frances Clock became the first women ever elected to a state legislature. Colorado led the way. How proud they would be to see us here today. This is the first time in Colorado history that the majority of the General Assembly is made up of women, and proudly, woo! And proudly, we are the second state in the nation where women make up the majority of the legislature. Let us recognize other historic firsts. Representative Breonna Tattone, the Democratic Caucus co-chair, is the first transgender lawmaker in the country to serve in a position of caucus leadership. Representative Junie Joseph is the first Haitian American to serve in the legislature. Representative Elizabeth Velasco, the first Latina from the Western Slope. Woo! Representative Regina English, the first Black woman to represent El Paso County. Love that joy. And Assistant Majority Leader Jennifer Bacon is the first Black woman to serve as our AML. And ladies, it doesn't stop there. For the first time, every Western Slope Democrat in the House, and there are now 4 of us, is a woman. And for the first time, a woman from the Western Slope will serve as your speaker. Yes. The House has a new and diverse leadership team, which for the first time will see women in the top 3 leadership positions. My appreciation to Majority Leader Duran and Assistant Majority Leader Bacon. Thank you for your exceptional partnership and leadership to this body. Together, we will each bring our lived experiences to the table so that we can craft policies and solutions that advance women's rights, civil liberties, healthcare and education, and economic opportunity for all. As teachers, community organizers, veterans, union members, business owners, urbanites, and mountain dwellers, the lawmakers in the Democratic caucus have lived the experiences of Coloradans from all walks of life. Over 30% of our lawmakers are people of color. We are a body that is now closer to fully representing the rich diversity of voices we serve. We are a body that better understands the infinite iterations of the Colorado dream. Our expanded Democratic majority is a recognition that Coloradans agree with the path we've charted and support a policy agenda and approach to governance that reflects our and their priorities. While we were elected by voters from individual districts, we must now come together to serve every person in our state, those that voted for us and those that did not. With the 2022 campaign in the rearview mirror, it's time to take what we've heard from our constituents and transition from public figures to public servants. It's time to govern on behalf of everyone in this state. With fresh ideas, heartfelt convictions, and a fierce determination to do what's right for our state, we will lead our Colorado forward together. This morning, I will ask you all to consider, how is the Colorado dream different for each person? What do our constituents need from us to live their Colorado dream, and how can we help? My Colorado dream started a long time ago on my parents' family farms in North Dakota. I'll never forget those summer vacation visits, walking the pastures, picking peas from the garden, and playing dress-up with my sister in the dairy house. My grandparents were teachers and farmers, fairly common occupations for those raising families in any rural part of a state. My grandmother Irene was an independent woman with big dreams of her own. She wrote countless stories of life on the farm and pursued a writing career. She was spirited, smart, and encouraged me to use my voice and be my own person. I believe any career is possible for a woman because of the example she set for me. My Colorado dream is realized here today as I stand before you as the first woman Speaker of the House from the Western Slope. Thank you. And the Colorado dream isn't the same for everyone. Isn't the same for everyone. Everyone has their own aspirations and hopes for their future. Some people strive to start or grow their own business. Many in our agriculture community want the security and reassurance of knowing they can pass on their family farm or ranch to their children. Lots of workers in our mountain towns, the people who drive our resort economies, just want to live in those same towns and enjoy the quality of life that makes them such wonderful places to live. Coloradans are trying to live their dream on our ranches, in our cities, on our rivers, and on our mountains. It's our job to support and celebrate those individual dreams. We must understand and deeply respect that lawmakers in this chamber will have different visions and ideas for what this looks like. To do this, we must contemplate what binds us all together, the basic needs that all of us have. Right now, for far too many people, there are folks struggling with the rising cost of living in our state. This year, we will redouble our efforts to make Colorado more affordable by reducing the costs of a family's largest expenses, often housing, healthcare, and childcare. They say home is where your heart is. It's where we go for the holidays and where we hang our hats. Having a home, affordable housing, is central to every person's ability to live, work, and play. That's why we've taken landmark steps to build more affordable homes and expand our housing stock. We invested $40 million to build innovative factory-built homes that help families afford high-quality new builds while creating good-paying jobs. Yeah. We made the single largest investment in the state's history in affordable housing by creating a $150 million revolving loan program, which will leverage private dollars to develop housing in rural and urban communities across the state. And we established a $178 million grant program to provide funding directly to local governments and nonprofits to build homes for every budget. In addition, we passed the largest property tax reduction in the state's history, strengthened the state affordable housing tax credit, created a housing tax credit for seniors, and directed hundreds of millions to help local communities address homelessness and preserve mobile home parks. My thanks to Minority Leader Lynch, Representatives Ortiz, Bradfield, Byrd, Woodrow, Basenecker, Judah, and Snyder for your work to pass these bills and others into law. Housing is a statewide concern, which is why this year we will pass policies to remove the unnecessary barriers that have made it more challenging and difficult to address our critical housing shortage. We will also work to ensure that these policies promote sustainable communities and help local governments preserve their affordable housing stock, especially for the elderly, those with disabilities, and low and middle income families for whom displacement is both traumatizing and destabilizing. Combined with our historic investments, these policies will help develop and preserve tens of thousands of quality homes all across our great state. And as we talk about housing, we must also talk about health care. I strongly believe that high-quality, accessible health care is essential for every Coloradan. Whether it's a fall on the ski slope, an injury in the workplace, or an illness, life is filled with the unexpected, and everyone deserves access to high-quality, affordable health care in the communities where they live. We capped insulin costs. Yes. Required prescription drug rebate savings to be passed along to consumers, put in place a plan to bring down the cost of the highest priced drugs, and created the Colorado Option, which is giving consumers new choices with better coverage at lower prices. Our state's reinsurance program has lowered premiums on the individual market 24% from last year, and savings even higher on the western slope at 36%. With persistently high healthcare costs, we are pleased to see that reinsurance is delivering for Coloradans. Our thanks to Senator Roberts, Representative Judah, Speaker Pro Tem Degree Kennedy, and now Congresswoman Caraveo for their persistence to lower the cost of health care and prescription drugs in this state. Thanks to the work of this body, more Coloradans and businesses can afford to buy health care, and yet, for Coloradans all across the state, access to behavioral health care, like therapy or substance use, is elusive. Substance use counseling. Too many people in our state can't afford or don't have access to the behavioral health care they need to thrive. With the determined efforts of Representative Amabile, we are increasing bed capacity for Coloradans with serious mental illness who have nowhere else to turn. Last year, we passed legislation sponsored by Representatives Gonzalez Gutierrez and Ricks, directing $90 million to communities across the state to ensure that there is no wrong door to behavioral health care. And my personal thanks to Representative Michelson Janae. You've carried this torch for a long time. For our youth who are facing an unprecedented mental health crisis of their own, they now have and can get free counseling through the popular and successful iMatter program. As many of you know, I spent a significant part of my career working in Summit School District, and to this day, I am fiercely passionate about ensuring that every child receives a world-class education that prepares them for their futures and careers. Everywhere we look, education is the fertile ground, the incubator from which the Colorado dream grows. Thanks to the work of Representatives McLaughlin, Young, and Kipp, and so many others, I'm proud that we've reduced the budget stabilization factor to the lowest point since it was created, and continue our march for more funding in public schools. Because of this work, school districts in Colorado are seeing nearly $550 million. Oh, it should be $550 more per student on average this year. With the incredible work of Majority Leader Eskar, our partners in higher education, organized labor, and business, we expanded skills training programs that prepare traditional and non-traditional students for the jobs of the future. We're launching the Opportunity Now Regional Talent Development Initiative with $85 million to ensure that we're training and educating our workforce for critical regional economic needs. This session, we are committed to making yet another meaningful, significant investment in public schools, higher education, and workforce development. And let's also take a moment to acknowledge the needs for affordable childcare. Yeah. For so many parents across our state, the Colorado dream is being able to raise your child while also pursuing a career. Data shows that nearly 1/3 of the median family's budget goes to childcare, a figure that's even higher in our rural counties. Not only is this simply unsustainable for families, it strains our workforce, making it harder for new parents to return to work and reinvest their dollars in our local economies. I am so excited to say that this year, affordable childcare and early childhood education will be a reality for more parents in our state. Starting this fall, every 4-year-old in Colorado will have access to free universal preschool. Thanks to Representative Sirota and our former Speaker Garnett for leading this effort. So far, over 850 providers across the state have signed up with the Department of Early Childhood, and that will provide nearly 29,000 slots for early childhood education. These efforts will give more Colorado kids a head start while saving parents money and helping them get back to work. And members, in nearly everyone's version of the Colorado dream, the beauty of this state is always front and center. But we all know you cannot live your dream if you cannot breathe the air outside your home. You cannot live your dream if the forests and land your dream relies on burns to the ground, or your crops wither at your feet. And your dream will not last if we do not protect the environment and this incredible place we call home. Millions of Coloradans are living each summer amidst rising pollution and poor air quality as climate change continues to take its toll. We've invested record funding to meet our climate challenges, improve our air, and prevent devastating wildfires. This session, we will continue this work by investing in transit options, building smarter and closer to where people work and live, and cracking down on violators that pollute our air and threaten our health. And then water. Out my front door at home, I see flowing rivers, mountain lakes, and crystal white snow, the very visions that capture the spirit of the West and our beautiful state. Agriculture, communities, wildlife, the future of our public lands, our environment, ski areas, growing cities, suburbs, and every person and family in our state depends on water. Water should not divide us. It should unite us. The Colorado River has declined 20% over the last 20 years, leaving our state and the entire West facing the worst drought conditions in 1,200 years. Climate change, increased demands, and population growth will continue to put more pressure on our water supply. With Representatives McCormick and Catlin leading the way, this is the year we make water the centerpiece of our conservation efforts. We will work collaboratively to develop policy solutions that protect this precious resource. The General Assembly has recently invested millions in the Colorado Water Plan, drought mitigation, watershed protection, and water conservation. And yet, our water faces unprecedented threats that no one has seen or experienced before. The rule of law will remain a foundation of how we manage water rights. We will aim to modernize Colorado's water management system to supply our growing state with the water we need to drink, grow food, and protect our rivers and streams for the benefit of wildlife, the environment, and our outdoor economy. We will seek new federal funding to restore our rivers, advance conservation programs, address drought in the Colorado River Basin, and boldly secure our water future. Just as we are committed to protecting our environment, we are deeply committed to protecting the people of our great state. The Colorado Dream is built on safety and security. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their communities, schools, on the playground, at the grocery store, without the fear of gun violence striking at any time. We directed funding to improve public safety by increasing resources for programs that reduce recidivism and prevent crime before it happens. We passed 6 bills to prevent gun violence by tightening background checks, creating the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, and by encouraging responsible gun ownership, like safely storing firearms and reporting them when they are lost or stolen. We must focus on data-informed strategies about why crime occurs to begin with. The lack of opportunity, lack of access to mental health care, inadequate reentry services that instead lead to cycles of incarceration. The data is clear. The measures we've passed in recent years, such as the red flag law, have saved lives and prevented crime. There were over 380 total red flag cases, 241 successful petitions, and that means lives were saved. Our efforts to reduce gun violence this session will focus on expanding how and when a red flag petition can be filed so that more key moments can be acted upon to interrupt potential acts of violence. Furthermore, we will increase waiting periods and the age limits to purchase a firearm. Feeling safe means different things to different people. Some Coloradans worry about their property or the loss of vibrancy in commercial districts impacting their businesses. Some people have concerns about their physical safety or the safety of their children and friends. Many people of color in Colorado still have legitimate fears about their safety when they interact with law enforcement. Freedom and safety are intertwined conditions that forge the foundation of nearly every Coloradan's dream. To become a victim of crime shatters the sense of safety and sense of freedom that we all want to live our lives. We've made critical investments in crime victim services and will continue that work this session under the leadership of Majority Leader Duran. As we work to improve public safety, we will increase our focus on protecting communities that too often have been the targets of violence because of their gender, their religion, who they love, or where they come from. We will advance policies that affirm the rights of Coloradans to live free from violence and threats. And finally, members, the Colorado dream is built on freedom. Freedom to love who you love, to marry who you want to marry. Colorado celebrates love of all kinds, and it is also knowing you always have the freedom to make your own personal decisions about reproductive health and abortion care free from government interference. I am proud to say that the Reproductive Health Equity Act is now law in Colorado, thanks to the work of Representative Froelich, Majority Leader Escar, and the lawmakers who supported this law. We protected the right to an abortion in Colorado. Now that we have cemented the right, we will take steps to protect access to abortion care by protecting providers, expanding our healthcare workforce, and ensuring patients have the accurate medical information they need to make their own decisions without the interference of politicians or misleading pregnancy centers. Earlier, I asked you to consider what we can do to help Coloradans live their individual dreams. The roadmap is before us. Much of our important progress has been accomplished because Democrats and Republicans came together, rolled up their sleeves, and delivered common sense results for their constituents. There have been powerful examples of the lawmakers in this room putting people over partisanship. As this session begins, I want us all to pursue that same goal. Let's put people above politics, progress above partisanship, to continue delivering results for all Coloradans. We were sent here not only to act, but to listen, to truly listen. Just as each of us listened as candidates, we're now called upon to listen as elected officials. And I hope we will always consider the respectful voices that came to the Capitol to advocate for their beliefs and the people in our state. Lawmaking is hard, and the process can be painful. No matter the challenge or frustration, our expectation is that we legislate inclusively and hear all voices that have an interest in our policy work. The outcome may not always reflect everyone's hopes. I understand that isn't always possible, but authentic engagement matters to the process and to the outcome. It's clear that the policies that we pass are stronger and longer lasting when we consider the voices of all Coloradans from every corner and community in this state. As we craft our legislation, offer amendments, and vote on bills, I want us all to recognize not only the historic diversity of the body, but also the importance of centering policies that are anti-racist and which combat anti-Semitism and hatred targeted at Colorado's LGBTQ community. It is not enough just to listen and hear people from diverse backgrounds. We must advance policies that reflect the experiences and priorities they bring to this chamber. Whew, we will have difficult conversations, but together we will pass anti-racist legislation to discontinue historic inequities. Historic inequities that have held back people of color and marginalized communities and denying far too many Coloradans their fair shot. So as I urge lawmakers of both parties to push for pragmatic and inclusive solutions, I want to challenge members to see the diversity of this body and, more importantly, the diversity that we must put into action to build a state that supports the dreams of all Coloradans. Today, we recognize that we can and must forge a path forward where everyone can reach their dreams. For our ranchers who need sustainable water and good roads to get their products to market, your Colorado dream will be our focus. For Black, Indigenous, and all people of color living here, your Colorado dream will be our focus. For our small business owners, resort employees, ski instructors, rafters, hikers, campers, and everyone who relies on our water, outdoors, and beautiful public spaces, your Colorado dream will be our focus. For LGBTQ Coloradans seeking safety, acceptance, hope, love, and the freedom to live life as you want, your Colorado dream will be our focus. For our students, teachers, and parents who want higher pay for educators and more resources in the classrooms, your Colorado dream will be our focus. For all the women and girls in this room and in our state looking ahead to a brighter future, fair wages, more rights and freedoms, and equal opportunity, your Colorado dream will be our focus. For anyone struggling to find an affordable place to live, a healthcare plan that doesn't break the bank, or accessible, high-quality childcare options, your Colorado dream will be our focus. Coloradans have been through tough times, but we have a very bright future ahead. Today, we affirm the foundational promise of good government, the contract we make when we stand up to serve that says we will always do what's best for Colorado. Today, our work starts again to make Colorado more affordable, to invest in our schools, to protect our air and water, to improve public safety, and protect our freedoms. Today, with love, integrity, boundless energy, and eternal optimism, we take the next steps to help every Coloradan live their dream. It is my tremendous honor and privilege to open the first session of the 74th General Assembly. Members, let's get to work. In this moment, I would like to recognize Minority Leader Lynch for the purpose of addressing this House. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'd like to be the first to say it's an honor to serve with you.
And it is an honor to serve with you.
I just wanted to see you get back up. Well, I think she covered it all, so let's call her good and go to lunch. Well, as you can see, my caucus is ready to get to work. We're starting out, and you're going to see how this is going to go. We've even got a member that's ready to be the speaker, so watch out. Here we go. What a great Colorado day. I mean, how often do we not enjoy and admire what we've got here in Colorado? I mean, what is it about Colorado that makes it such a special place? I mean, there's a reason the early settlers suddenly lost their curiosity about what was over the horizon. And they said, this is where I want to stay. Colorado's natural beauty of the outdoors has drawn many to vacations here, and they fall in love with the place, and they pick up their life, and then they move here. They relocate here and start over. That common bond of the love of our natural beauty has caused immense diversity in this state. You in those chairs, we truly represent a melting pot of race, religion, education levels, and interests. How awesome is it to see this room today filled with all of us that share that love? I'm especially blessed to have my family here today, my wife Alex, my son Spencer, my daughter Carly, who is spending her 17th birthday with us today. Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carly. Happy birthday to you. Come on, give me that. Oh, am I going to pay for that? But we're assembled here today in the people's house. This is not the representative's house. Your newly minted representative. This isn't your house. This is the people's house. I want you to take a second look around this place and see what society has created to say it's important enough for us to have a fancy place, for us to decide how we govern ourselves. Not many state capitals are quite this spectacular. I've been in a few of them, and we're very blessed to have this one. So anyway, when I started to think about what I was going to say today, I thought I should reflect on how we've got to 2023 as a country and established the greatest country known to history. This mighty experiment has produced literally the best society we can imagine. That reflection took me back to the Declaration of Independence. Like, how did this all start? How did we start doing all this? So I looked to the Declaration, and I promise I won't read the whole thing. But it goes like this, and it's the first part that we only need to read a little bit of it, and we can kind of get our guidance from there. It says, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. And this first part talks about our rights are not the laws of men, which can be corrupted, but those of nature and of nature's God. It's not specific. It is how we freely understand that there's a higher power. It goes on to say, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I didn't think the day would be complete unless somebody didn't bring that up. But to secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their just powers from the consent. That's what I said, the consent of the governed. I could go on, but the bottom line is our initial establishment for this great land is that we come from a heritage of ensuring that the people are in charge, not us in this chamber. But for us to be the servants of the people and carry the voices of the many thousands that each of us represent. And to that end, our job is to constrain the government from being overbearing in our lives and taking over our freedoms. That all sounds well and good, but the contentious process of getting here, as we have all been through, clouds our vision of how we conduct ourselves once we get inside the Gold Dome. We're easily tempted to put party over the people, and service takes a second seat to our own personal ambitions. I implore you to remember, it is you that sits in those seats. It is not you. It is the thousands of people who put you there. Most of them you agree with, but some of them you do not. Those voices are important as well. Those voices are the ones the minority represents here today. The voices you may not agree with, but are still there to be heard in each one of your districts. I ask only one thing from you, the supermajority. Let those voices be heard. The voices that continue to believe in limited and smaller government, property rights, and school choice. Those Coloradoans who understand there is no such thing as government money, but understand it is their money, as government has no way of producing income outside of our individual successes. Entrepreneurs and business owners who feel they are overtaxed and overregulated, and who support multiple energy choices in our state. The people in the rural parts of this state that ensure we have food on our table every day. Parents who go to bed frightened that their child will buy an illegal drug on the internet and die of a fentanyl overdose. Those who believe being forced to buy one kind of egg versus another is not fair. It's a little thing, but it's ringing my phone off the hook. And those who feel they're underserved by our law enforcement and just want safety on our streets. The minority will work every day to ensure those concerns are addressed through vigorous debate. So today, the Republican minority comes to the floor of House of Representatives in a historically small number. However, I can tell you, we are bringing those who know how to serve, as almost half of my caucus are members who have said they are willing to lay down their life for this country through their military service. We literally represent every branch of the service. These are people who understand a mission and have experience to accomplish it. We also are bringing a wealth of knowledge through career public servants and business leaders, all who have impressive resumes and many years of experience to bring our conversation of how to make the lives of Coloradans better. I could not be more honored to work with this distinguished group of leaders, and I am humbled, very humbled, to have the role of leading them in the 74th General Assembly. So today, we all become members of a distinguished group, the 74th General Assembly. May we first never forget we are servants of the people that will create history and records that will be handed down long after we're gone. We're not going to agree. We're going to vigorously defend our differing opinions. We're going to be delighted and disappointed from day to day. May we also never forget that we are colleagues and individuals with way more in common as humans and Americans than we have in differences as members of a political party. I'm looking forward to the work we have ahead of us and getting to know each of you as we work for a better Colorado. I'm also looking forward to lunch, and I would like to say, may God bless us all as we go through our tasks and may God bless the great state of Colorado. Thank you.
Thank you, Minority Lynch. Minority Leader Lynch. Madam Majority Leader,
Madam Speaker, I move that the remarks of the Speaker and Minority Leader be printed in the Journal.
seeing no objection, the remarks will be printed in the Journal. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the House stand in recess until after the joint session.
Members, we are not quite there yet. Members, we have to stand in recess for a joint session with our colleagues from the Senate, and our senators will be joining us at your desks. Because of that, I'm going to kindly ask all of our guests currently in the chamber to take a break. You are invited to stand outside the chamber, head over to room 271, the Old State Library, where you can enjoy watching us from afar. Our joint session will not last too long, and you will be invited back certainly after that point. Members, we will stand in recess until after the joint session. need to fix that. Members, the joint session will now come to order. Please take your seats. Members and senators, please take your seats. Members, it is a big day. We are all excited. Please take your seats. Senators, welcome. Pursuant to Article 4, Section 3 of the Colorado State Constitution, a joint session shall be convened in order for the General Assembly to declare who will be the duly elected state officials. Senator Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Feels weird to be back here. Colleagues, I move that the morning roll call of the Senate be made the Senate roll call of the joint session.
If there is no objection, the morning roll call of the Senate will be made the Senate roll call for the joint session. House Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I move that the morning roll call of the House be made the House roll call of the joint session.
If there is no objection, the morning roll call of the House will be made the House roll call for the joint session. Members, a quorum is present, and as is customary but painful, it is my privilege and honor to present the gavel to the President of the Senate with the request that he preside over these proceedings. Members, President Fenberg.
The Secretary of State has delivered the abstract of votes to the Speaker of the House. Mr. Schiebel, please read the communications from the Secretary of State.
State of Colorado, Department of State. I, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State of the State of Colorado, certify that I have canvassed the abstracts of votes cast submitted in the State of Colorado, and do state that, to the best of my knowledge and belief, the attached list represents the total votes cast for the executive state offices by the qualified electors of the State of Colorado in the November 8, 2022 general election. In testimony whereof, I have set my hand and affixed the Great Seal of the State of Colorado at the City of Denver this 12th day of December 2022. Signed, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State. I, Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State of the State of Colorado, certify that I have canvassed the abstract of votes cast submitted in the State of Colorado, and do state that, to the best of my knowledge and belief, the persons listed on the attached list were duly elected to the executive state offices by the qualified electors of the State of Colorado in the November 8, 2022 general election. In testimony whereof, I have set my hand and affixed the Great Seal of the State of Colorado at the City of Denver this 12th day of December 2022, signed Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State. Governor Jared Polis, Lieutenant Governor Diane Primavera, Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, State Treasurer Dave Young, Attorney General Phil Weiser.
I do hereby declare that upon examination of the abstract of votes cast in the November 8, 2022 general election for the executive officers of the State of Colorado from 64 counties, the following named persons having the highest number of votes are hereby elected to the following offices: Governor Jared Polis, Lieutenant Governor Diane Primavera, Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, State Treasurer Dave Young, Attorney General Phil Weiser. House Majority Leader Duran.
Mr. President, I move that the communications from the Secretary of State be printed in the House Journal.
If there is no objection, the communications from the Secretary of State will be printed in the House Journal. Senate Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the joint session be dissolved.
There being no objection to Senate Majority Leader Moreno's motion, the joint session is dissolved.
The House will come back to order. Members, it is time for announcements and introductions, and I know we had a few. Representative Kipp.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have two, if that's acceptable. First of all, I have received permission from the Majority Leader to be excused on Wednesday so I can go have eye surgery. So I hope to see you all on Thursday remotely and be back here on Friday in person. I literally do hope I can still see you all then because I'm a little bit, yeah. And secondly,
Representative Kipp, we wish you well and
you.
so approved.
Thank you. Also, we do have two birthdays that we need to celebrate, and I want to explain something. We have something. Representative Doherty, you are not allowed to disappear, and neither is Majority Leader Duran, because Majority Leader Duran's birthday was yesterday, and Representative Doherty's birthday, it's today. So I want to explain the Capitol Choir since we have so many new members. The Capitol Choir is what we are about to do. It is when you come down and we sing happy birthday to members. We have no commitments, no rehearsals. You don't have to sing on key. We are just here to acknowledge the joyous moments in our members' lives. So anybody who would please join me down here so I don't have to sing it all by myself, I would greatly appreciate it.
Which one are we doing first?
What do you think? Well, we could do Majority Leader Duran first. Okay. We will be singing to Majority Leader Duran first since her birthday was yesterday, and then we will be singing next to Representative Doherty. So, okay, pick a key. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Majority Leader Duran. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Representative Doherty.
Thank you all. The choir sounded much better this year. Voice lessons, maybe. Are there any other announcements or introductions? Representative Bradfield.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again, starting tomorrow morning at 7 to 7:15. Bible study will be held in the ground level. I think it's 0109 room. And welcome all those people who really would like to know more about the word of the Lord. Thank you. Please see me if you have any questions.
Thank you. Representative Holtorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm the second Republican to say this. It's an honor to serve with you.
It is an honor to serve with you. Thank you.
I'd like to mention that Representative Bradfield has talked about the Bible study. It is bipartisan. Everybody is welcome. We talk about Scripture. It's a great time to build unity, and I think many former members that are now senators used to attend, if that's something you aspire to. So maybe the hand of God will help you continue to move in this path of politics. All joking aside, I want to talk, Madam Speaker, about the National Western Stock Show, and if I could have the chair of the Ag Committee please come up here. Vice Chair, they have a specific message. All I want to do as a representative who represents Eastern Colorado, and Representative Catlin, thank you. The 7th through the 22nd of January is the 70th National Western Stock Show. There are exhibits from 48 states at the stock show right now in Denver, Colorado. The only two states that are not represented are Hawaii and Alaska because it's too far to travel to participate, or they would be here. That's how important the stock show is. Rodeos, livestock shows, horses, dogs, cattle, sheep, hogs, every class of livestock. There's so much to do to learn about agriculture and our Western way of life. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Ag Chair and the Vice Chair.
Representative McCormick.
I want to echo that sentiment, and coming up soon, you'll also be hearing from us because we will be asking for many of you to dig into your pockets to help us raise money for the junior livestock sale that's coming up. So stay tuned and be ready when that comes up. I actually wanted to have another announcement that will come later, but I'll let my Vice Chair,
Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That sounds good. It's an honor to serve with you.
An honor to serve with you, sir.
Thank you. Members, this stock show is something that we have always come to you and said, look, we want to help purchase a livestock item from some of the young people that exhibit out there. It's a good thing for us to do. It's a tradition that we've been carrying on for a long time. So we will be around fundraising, because you all understand fundraising, right?
And it never stops.
Yeah. Well, it's about to stop for me, and that's kind of nice. But I do want you to know it's important. It's one of the traditions that we have taken on, and it's a competitive thing. So since the Democrats have such an unfair competitive imbalance, I think you guys should mostly raise 2/3 of the money.
I will take that challenge on.
Thank you. That'd be great, because then we can all go spend it. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you both. Representative McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And yes, it is a tremendous honor to serve with you. I wanted to bring up the topic of the day, which is water, and to remind each and every one of you that there's a great opportunity to learn about so much about how water is addressed in our state, the water concerns, the voices that represent water across our state from all the different parts that you've heard: municipal, agriculture, recreation, all the different parts of the state that needs water. This Friday at noon, I know there's going to be a lot of
conflicts with our smart hearing, but if you have an opportunity to come even for a small amount of time, Water Education Colorado is helping to put this together this Friday at noon to 3. I have forgotten the room because they changed it on me, but it's called Demystifying Water, Water 101, and this is an opportunity for everyone to learn a little bit about how water is addressed in our state. Everyone is welcome. I'm encouraging each and every one of you to attend because we all need to be part of this conversation in the past, now, and going forward. So please see me later if you need details on where it is, but I'll be announcing it probably every day so that I can drum up some good support to come hear about water. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Majority Leader. Oh, I'm sorry. Representative Soper? Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I am about to make a motion to recess until later today, at which time the Speaker will introduce the first round of bills. There is no need for you to return to the chamber. You are free to go. Thank you. I move the House stand in recess until later today.
Woo. Woo. Members, after the introduction of bills, the House will be in adjournment until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., when there will be business to conduct, so please be on time. Please enjoy the rest of your day, celebrate, soak in the moment. Thank you. At this time, and seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until later today.